Okay, we're live. Alex, welcome to the Kramer Show.
Hey,
Uh,
good to be
what,
here.
what, Give us the quick version. I know it's going to be an action-packed episode, and I've been looking forward to this. Um, kind of let the audience know who are you, what does Ewing Auto Group do, and how long have you been in the business?
Sure. Well, I'm Alex Keenan, corporate head marketing and strategy, Ewing Auto Group. More importantly, I'm from a small cold city on a big cold lake, and I've been doing this down here. I've been in automotive for 16 years, 2 years and change here back at Tier 3 with Ewing Automotive Group, that I believe is celebrating its 86th year in business. So we are a four rooftop with two small businesses and a fifth on the way in the form of Ewing Buick GMC of Salina. So hopefully this one comes
And
out
that's
before Q1 of 28. Otherwise, it'll be in the past. So.
so you're in Texas. Is that also in Texas?
We are all unfortunately on the same side of the same toll road. So about 18 miles in between will be our furthest north and furthest south right here in Plano.
And what are the other franchises that you cover?
Sure. I'm officing right here upstairs at Ewing Buick GMC. To my north, we've got Mercedes-Benz of Plano. We've got Ewing VinFast of Plano. That's currently a service-only store. But just south of that one, the great Ewing Subaru of Plano as well.
I'm familiar with that store from years ago.
There you go.
So you've been long enough, you've been around the business long enough to see ad products come and go, right? And I think that there's a lot of that going on. You and I talked about this. How do you typically decide what's actually worth moving forward in your ad budget?
There's really two things that are sort of what I consider my brick walls when it comes to anything at any of the Ewing, or let's just call it the stores and operations. Does it integrate with our CRM and DMS? Uh, and then can I apply either my co-op funds from IMR or SAF? Now, once we can kind of get over those two, we'll call them hurdles, not necessarily brick walls. It's really just, I don't like just blanketed approaches to everything. My Subaru customers are definitely not like my Mercedes customers, are definitely not like my GMC customers. So it's really about what helps me get to the audience, how the audience is shopping, for what the audience is shopping for whatever most index is for that particular brand.
So as I look at the numbers prior to this call, and I'm looking to see what's performing for you, can you kind of talk about your current media mix and how IMV VIN video fits into that?
Sure. I think it would be pretty safer to cover what we don't have in the mix. I mean, I don't do a lot of linear and terrestrial stuff, but other than that, the answer is probably yes, or in the works and building up in that. As far as in
And for
market,
everybody in the audience, can you kind of just double click on linear and terrestrial and
oh
what?
yeah, no, you're not going to see us on channel 458 or 11, or realistically on any FM radio. So we do a lot of digital video, a lot of digital CTV, OTT, so TV but streaming. And then back to, I've been working with it so long, I gotta not call it fuel IMV, but for in-market video, we participate in some way, shape, or form at each of our franchise stores. Um, from the old, again, I'm going to say old because I'm going to say fuel IMV. It's a great way to retarget folks in that same video commercial type thing across all devices, as opposed to buying, again, commercial that we just hope they see on your normal channel 2, 4, 5, 8, 11. No, the biggest thing with that one is just really, really good at getting those retargeting. I mean, getting somebody to visit your site, of course, is the biggest thing, but the way that like IMV and some other retargeting video programs come into there, I mean, it's just a great way to get a thing that people want to see. People want to watch versus look. They want to look versus read. It's just a really good way to stay top of mind and top in front of people, and that's why we have it participating in all of our manufacturer stores.
So are you typically doing IMV on high upper funnel customers, lower funnel, and then how do you handle the retargeting when you with your strategy around that?
Yeah, actually, the biggest success and the biggest inclusion when we first brought in-market video on board, I think that our Mercedes-Benz store was the first one, coming up on about 2 years ago. Uh, uh, you know, we see that a lot as really lower funnel retargeting. Again, these aren't just the first, hey, please buy my product. It's we're only showing a lot of that video to folks that have already visited my Dealer Inspire site, who have possibly looked at inventory, if not inventory, I know segments, what they're intending to. So the ability to reserve that, those very, very lower funnel retargeting has been one of my favorite aspects of it. And then I'm sure we're getting ahead of ourselves, but that Vin AI video stuff, that's a different place and a different lower granular way to keep what they're looking at right in front of them where their eyeballs already are.
Well, but we are about to get into that because I'm actually extremely curious to know how you're deploying that and what you're doing for creative, or like your how that's affecting your creative strategy. But
Yeah.
before Vin specific video, what were you doing to get in front of the right shopper, and was it working well enough for you?
I would say we were just hoping and praying, but no, we've actually got some things very, very dialed in. I mean, I inherited a good program, so it's not like we were going from, hey, this is terrible, we have to figure out some way to do this. It's really the way I see it. We're going from good to great. I mean, I've watched digital, how do we get in front of people just digitally? I mean, back to when I started my career, it was, hey, does anybody have a .edu so we can get on Facebook? Apparently we're closed. Sorry, I got to end this interview. No, there we go. Uh, just basic stuff like that. Software engineers, but from just the how do we even get our things where we know people are going and over indexing, to why tell them, hey, we know you liked the blue one out front, maybe we hit them with trucks. No, if we know everything about the customer, let's meet them where they already are. If they've already picked out that VIN, that thing that they were clicking around on my website, I'm not going to serve them another one. I want to keep the conversation as close and dialed into the actual vehicle in question as possible. And anything that helps me retarget what I already know about them is only a good thing.
So how are you using AI to, I guess, bolster that when you're trying to get the right message in front of the right client? Because you could serve up a truck to a sedan client. How's AI helping you with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I'm probably the Luddites, kind of a strong word, but I just when it
I
comes to
disagree
AI,
with you on that.
all right, there we go. I feel like it's just it's a different way of getting in front of people with the same thing we've been doing for people much longer than I have. It's just using that greater tool. The AI doesn't replace something; it just makes us so much more educated. I mean, for example, back when we were building audiences, or oh wow, or anybody on General Motors reaching this, literally looking at AGSA zip codes and splitting them up based upon tier 2 or tier 3 contributions. Starting there, don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this, is that you would have to break it down and start way up the funnel just to get way down the funnel to build an audience. Using AI, I already know what that audience of one is looking at it, and can make, you can use bespoke, you can use ad hoc, you can use, just very, very granular way to as I tell the teams as much as they'll let me in operations, let's make the car buying process as complicated as the customer chooses to make it. It's a lot of simple words, but they all mean something. And if I know that you are looking at something and I can use AI without having to crawl through my CRM and see which one you test drove 2 weeks ago, it just makes it that much more professional and pertinent once you get that message on that VIN in front of that customer. And with AI, I can do it instantly. I'm not sitting around here building something or just trying it. I know enough about the customer to know to take all that fluff out.
So a lot of people are skeptical about this because AI is just a foreign concept and it's changing so rapidly. Were you skeptical at any point,
Oh,
going into this?
I
Can you
still
talk about
am.
that?
I still am.
Yeah, rightfully
Uh,
so, right?
yeah, because again, I mean, I gotta imagine when people were using screwdrivers and somebody invented a drill, you're just like, well, that's cheating. No, it's not. It's just doing something more effectively, efficiently, and it's readily available to us. Why not? But at the same time, AI can mean a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of sharks out there trying to take a bite out of something. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was AI and the banana that I had this morning. But I think that like the biggest thing is just, what is it you're actually trying to do? And are you trying to do what you were doing before better? Or are you trying to overextend your capabilities with some flash in the pan technology. Now, from an ad tech thing, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's simplifying what we already have available to us in a more efficient way. When it comes to some other products, especially like customer-facing artificial intelligence as human alternative, that's where I'm still very skeptical. I know that, you know, your mileage may vary, but there's just something about the humanizing and destigmatizing part of my mantra that makes me still think, well, how is the computer going to know what to say? But I'm more and more impressed every day. But I'm still probably not the first early adopter of especially customer facing AI things at this point.
Has it sped up your turnaround time in terms of doing the creative ads and like the process from what you used to have to approve and what you want to deploy on in-market video to today with AI?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, my Cars Commerce team on in-market video has been extremely responsive and ready and quick turnaround. So it's not like I had like a huge issue to solve when this one came out. So even back when we were doing this, I'm going to say this the old-fashioned way. No, getting
Fuel.
these, yeah, the hey, do you like this? We pulled tier one ads. Here's your offer. Here's stuff. We have the audience. No, but again, when I'm talking one-to-one, both in VIN and to customer, and it's bespoke, to say it sped it up would be the understatement of at least a day. I mean, I'm getting near instantaneous stuff about exactly what I know based on as much as I know of the customer and get that vehicle, not just a vehicle like it, right in front of them in platforms that they were already on.
And how has it changed the way you look at video? Like, if you could look at it today, how you looked at it, and all the things that you've learned along the way, and if you could go back, let's even say 60 days ago, because that's how fast it's changing. How
Yeah.
has it changed from when you initially started thinking about it to how you think about it now that you've executed it at a high
Um,
level?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can use a pretty high level but subjective thing that 60 days ago, only one of our three retail franchise operations was participating in the VIN AI component of IMV. And since then, or gosh, it might have even been since you and I spoke, we have integrated and dedicated a portion of incremental budget specifically to the VIN specific AI video components. So I think right there and there means that I have become a believer. Now, I do not act in a vacuum. A lot of this, you know, I another one of my internal maxims is that I like to keep people busy with their day jobs. But, you know, the real decision makers, the, you know, owners, leadership, people whose names are on the side of buildings, general managers, general sales managers, you know, they got a lot to work on. But the small amount of comments and, you know, conversations we've had about this new technology, to see them say, hey, that's good, I trust you, if it works. And I think the reason why some of us were here today is because of some of the success we saw early on at Mercedes-Benz Plano. So the other two stores were just fighting for how fast they could be the next. I like it.
So,
I recommend it, and I am very, very proudly product and tactic agnostic.
can you talk about like what the moment where you decided, okay, this is what I want to do. I think this is going to work, and then also transition into what you've seen worked and what kind of surprised you the most that you didn't anticipate.
Um, I'm going to answer that in a backwards uh, order. I think that the biggest surprise to me was just kind of how, I don't want to say instantly the results were, but I mean, the first 30 days after the last 30 days that we didn't have this extra layer within uh, was a marked improvement, both in engagement, you know. A lead, just because it's got a fake name and a number in it, is still technically a lead. But I mean, where you have people that are intuitively uh, themselves contributing all of the information about who they are, what they're looking for, when they want, and anything we know about them only provides us with a more actionable thing. So again, what surprised me was just like how, like, wow, I mean, that's a market improvement. You know, from a digital advertising perspective, I'm still of the mentality, it's like, well, you know, it used to be you got to give it 60, 90 days. I mean, we're still giving things 30, 45, 60 days before we make, you know, major buttons and lever changes. But when it came to this one, I wish I could say I was sitting around debating it, for months and weeks of restless, sleepless nights. But
Right.
really, what it came down to
Coin
was,
flips.
yeah. So it's like, hey, do you want to do it? Sure. No, somewhere in between that is the truth. I think I have an incredible account executive as far as Cars Commerce goes, who brought it up very organically and just a conversation at one of our regular quarterly business reviews. Not only have you guys earned the right to ask for my business, but as a trusted partner and seeing all these things that I'm say, hey, I've got 40 people that I work with of the 533 coworkers that I have who are constantly saying, hey, have you seen this
Wow.
AI thing, this AI thing, this other AI thing? Hey, I'm thinking about signing up for this AI thing. Um, and again, that was just the pizza line for a dealer of the year party. But it's just like, there's so much just buzz and noise on this one that it's really refreshing to find something that isn't extremely overhauling, over expensive, yet still has a bunch of manual things in it that works using a technology that we're all exposed to all the time.
So it's not a lot of lift on your end.
I did not have to hire an additional assistant to do this. No, it's it not only does it, there's three things. I realize I'm talking a lot, but that's a podcast. That's what we're here for. The three things that I've told, and probably a lot of people in the background on this call, or at least that were in this, know about it. Uh, for all of our partners, are you easy to work with? Are you efficient? And are you effective? It's efficient, it's effective, and you're not asking a whole lot of me other than to reallocate some budget and then find some incremental things. So from a work standpoint, I'm not doing a whole lot more than I was under our current IMV actions. And
I love
again,
that decision tree. I think that's phenomenal.
yeah, three E's, no trademark needed. So
Now, when you're thinking about the ROI on it, how are you looking at the ROI on this versus ROI on other channels?
Um, you know, uh, I think again, what we used to call attribution is now influenced, for better or for worse. Um, I'm just seeing that, I hate to ever take something down. Like, how many dollars did I spend and how many cars did I sell because of it? I mean, we really can't do that, and I'm part of the problem when I say that. I realize that, but some of it is just kind of understanding that we're getting much more influenced traction, traffic, activity, engagement, and leads that we can actually work with. So without having to put a hard number on it, unless that's what you're asking for, is just that we notice we're getting more out of this effort, this tactic, and without a major increase in investment, therefore it's only becoming more efficient. As far as effectiveness goes, yeah, we're seeing a good amount of, we all have social leads, we all have VIN leads, we all have video leads. There's only so much you can do with them. I'm seeing within the first 30, we might be on 61 days now at my oldest store. But again, the ROI just means that from a qualitative perspective, we're working with more complete leads, engagement, traffic, and attention to our details that I didn't see before we signed on the dotted line.
So you just poured a bunch of wisdom in that response there.
Oops.
Let me let me extract one thing out of there. So a lot of
Please.
people are talking about leads. You're talking about leads, right? I know that the majority, and that's all I do pretty much 7 days a week, is talk to dealers about, hey, what's working, what's not, how can I help, how can I remove roadblocks. And the one thing that I'm hearing from everybody is how much lead count is down. And a lot of people are looking at it like a black hole. They're trying to figure out what it is and what's driving all of that. You're experiencing kind of the opposite, right? At your group, which is you're one of the few that I heard where your leads are actually going up and you're getting your unfair share of the business. Can you talk about what you think is driving that, or because everybody's looking for that silver bullet, and I know it's a
Sure.
little bit more complex than that, but
Yeah, I mean, if we all knew, hey, if you buy this product, you'll sell more things, we'd all just buy that thing. Um, no, well, thank you for that. Also, yes, at one of our store, quantitatively, we are seeing uh, a lift. I mean, we're not talking like anybody's going to retire early, but you know,
well,
um,
the number I heard recently was the average dealer's down 37% in lead count year over
I
year.
think, yeah, I think I still saw that same report, or at least many that would substantiate a number very much like that. Which again, I mean, 37%. If you lost 37 cents of every dollar, you'd notice that. Um, no, because I've spent so much time on both sides of the desk, I know what I'm saying when I say this is that, hey, everybody else is off a lot, but you're only off a little. So imagine how bad it would be if we weren't doing so well. And I've bought and sold that line before, but I think that yes, things are low. We kind of entered 2026 knowing we'd have about 8 to 10 months of expected downturn in what we would consider leads, or like an actionable someone submitting it in the legacy form of, hey, I decided to introduce myself. Here's what I want, who I am, how to get a hold of me. Please don't annoy me. Approach to leads. But now, I mean, everything from these, just we make it easier for the customer to introduce themselves, to engage with us, to opt into starting the automotive retail process. I feel like, yes, I will give some credit to, of course, the products that we're talking about now, but really so much of it has just been going away from that old, hey, if this customer is interested in that vehicle, have them give you 22 pieces of information before you can even start a conversation. That's silly. Things like, instant experience, the IMV VIN retargeting, really something that lets somebody easily, where they naturally already are giving their intention, consuming their media, to touch it, see it, and feel it, and engage with me, and make it easier on them. I think that that's been part of the success, why we've either seen actual increases or decreases that are much, much softer than what a lot of our other competitors, even within the same OEMs, are experiencing.
So that ties into my last two questions. We're coming around turn four.
Ooh.
So if you're talking to a dealer principal, like this acquisition you're talking about, right? That's
Mhm.
skeptical, and mostly because they've heard 100 of these, or hundreds of these AI pitches. Because as you said, like with the banana, everything's powered by AI right now, right?
Yeah.
And it's touching it, and it's interacting with it in some way, but you don't know what's real and what's not. How would you what would you actually say to them about this product? What makes it different, or why should they care?
Um, yeah, I mean, when it comes to IMVAI video social components, I mean, wow, that was a mouthful. I think the biggest thing with that one is that, AI, we act like it's this thing we've never had before. I mean, you got a different club in your bag, you got a different rifle in your closet, it's everything does a something. And I don't think anybody can confidently tell you exactly what AI does across the board, because it doesn't do one thing. When it comes to actual ad tech in how we source and identify the audience, what we know about them, and where they're going to go next, social media, video, etc., uh, is no brainer okay to say? I just feel like, everybody's gun shy about AI this, AI that, myself included. But to see this utilization of, hey, let it just help build this video to serve this customer that we know is interested in this VIN, on a place where we know that customer will go. As opposed to, I mean, could we sit down here and do this ourselves and, hand build campaigns? Yeah. Do I want to? No. And
No,
do I have to anymore?
nobody does.
Absolutely not. Right. Right. So no,
So if you could explain in one sentence what's the value of this thing, how would you describe it?
it will help you target specific customers that are already interested in your specific products.
I couldn't say it better myself.
Oh, sure you could.
Alex Keenan, Ewing Auto Group. I can't thank you enough for joining us today on the Kramer Show.
That was fun. Thanks for having me.
No, it was an absolute pleasure. I'm looking forward to the next time. I'm looking forward to stopping by and seeing your store.